Hey everybody, I'm Paste Magazine TV editor Allison Keene here with our editor-in-chief Josh Jackson, and we are talking the TV Power Rankings, the top 10 shows of the week as voted on by the Paste writers and editors. And this week, number 10 is a brand new show to our list, Harley Quinn on DC Universe.
Harley Quinn, this is a tremendously fun, very bloody, very profane animated series from the DC Universe. So if you have to get another subscription service to watch this. It's getting ridiculous. It's $8 a month for DC Universe, and there's not a ton of new shows, but this one is so great.
There are a couple of people really like Titans, Doom Patrol, a couple others, but Harley Quinn is doing something really fun and different. It sounds like with it's sort of Harley dropping the Joker, dropping Mr. J, and setting out on her own to become her own villain in her own right.
Exactly. This is her breaking free in the very first episode of the shackles of Mr. J. But it's a really fun show. It's got a great cast: Kelly Cuoco, Christopher Maloney, Alan Tudyk plays the Joker.
Lake Bell is Poison Ivy.
Lake Bell is wonderful as
great
Poison
voice
Ivy.
Cast. Yeah,
trying to shepherd a young Harley Quinn away from the her bad boyfriend. Joker's a bad boyfriend.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun show.
Yeah. So check that out on DC Universe. Number 9 this week is Merry Happy Whatever on Netflix, which is a Dennis Quaid sitcom, which is a real throwback to it could air on CBS. It's one of those sort of like The Ranch and Disjointed, I think, was another one that was, again, very much a throwback to the
old school sitcom.
Old school sitcom. But, there's something kind of nice and familiar about that. And our assistant editor, Amy Amatangelo, really enjoyed it and said, there's something comforting about that old sitcom structure.
She does like those old. She's got a heart for those.
She keeps us sort of on the network beat, and even though this is on Netflix, it very much has that feel to it. So number 8 this week is Mr. Robot on USA, which is apparently having a really great final season. Josh and I have not watched it as of yet.
I think we both decided we're going to be catching up
until the finale, and then we'll see if it holds. If it's still really great through that, then that might be enough to bring me back. But evidently, our writers are saying that it is still really great.
I've got 3 seasons to catch up. That'll be a good off season when there's not a million shows on like there are right now,
which may never actually happen. Number 7 this week is High School the Musical, the musical. Wait a minute.
Okay.
High School the Musical. Wait, High School
Musical, the musical, the series. Yes.
Wow, have I showed my age here because I can't even say the name of the show. But apparently,
I had to ask, what is HSMTMTS on the list here this week?
It is High School Musical, the series, which is a super, super meta series that Alexis Gunderson has written about on the site, and that only Disney could pull off something with such vertical synergy, essentially, for Disney Plus.
And with Kristen Bell heading this thing up, right?
No, this is like
not the
totally new cast, totally new everything.
I thought she was like the host of the show, though.
That's Encore on Disney Plus.
Man, I can't keep up
Friends
with
between Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, and everything else that's happening right now.
High School, the musical, the series. Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing. It's a super meta, fun, crazy journey that you just have to give yourself over to and enjoy on Disney.
On Disney Plus?
Yes. Number 6 this week is Silicon Valley on HBO, which has come on and off the power ranking throughout this final season.
This episode was so great, though. This was Russ Fest, and it had you could see rich kids maybe tweeting their sad lunches from.
Yes, it was very Fire Festival.
It did have the Fire Festival
very
vibe
much.
to it.
Russ Hanneman, a character. So in this final season of Silicon Valley, we are seeing a lot of characters return from previous seasons. Russ Hanneman being one that has always been a bizarre delight whenever he shows up.
And the breakout star from this season, Gort.
Gort. If you don't know what a Gort is, then you should be watching this season of Silicon Valley.
Do not steal her artichoke.
It is this final season. You really feel things wrapping up. I mean, this episode was another great example of this show sticking to its formula, which is, I mean, some people say, well, it gets very repetitive season after season, but it also really works. There's a big problem. Then at the last second, a Gwart or something shows up to fix everything. And then it creates an even bigger, more intense problem.
Well, yeah. And Richard's brilliance and social awkwardness all sort of colliding, and his moral he has this sense of morality, but he betrays it all the time. And
Tethics, would you say?
Tethics.
He has great tethics.
He has great tethics. And he continually betrays it and finds himself doing things that, he doesn't believe in, and then realizing he's done something wrong. And it's this huge pendulum swing of his moral center.
And it feels very relevant to a lot of things that are happening in tech right now, which of course is the whole show. Silicon Valley has always been a really smart and witty commentary on the tech industry. So in this final season, if you aren't caught up, it is worth catching up on, if not just for the gwart of it all. Number 5 this week, we're going back to Disney Plus for the Imagineering Story. Now, this is a documentary series that is talking about Disney parks and sort of the evolution of the parks. And our writer, Garrett Martin, has said that, you expect it on Disney Plus. You're talking about Disney parks. How candid are they really going to be? Is this really just sort of marketing for the parks? But essentially, they kind of get into it, especially this last episode, which really dives into the last decade of the Michael Eisner era, and talking about a lot of the problems and a lot of the mistakes that were made then. So it is actually maybe a little more revealing than most would expect. And if you are a fan of Disney and Disney parks, definitely a must watch.
Yeah, and I as Garrett said, it'll be interesting to see when they catch up to more recent history. Will that critical eye survive?
Right.
That transition to,
the current regime
management.
Right, exactly. So we shall see. But so far, definitely worthwhile for Disney fans. Number 4 this week is Back to Life, which had its finale on Showtime. This is one that's been super under the radar. It's just a mere 6 episodes. We have talked about it on the Power List, I think, since it premiered. We've invoked Rectify. We've invoked Fleabag. What more can we tell you? It's really great. It's a British series, an easy binge watch.
I have a soft spot for small town England stories, and this is a really great one of those. The characters of this small, tightly knit community that she's trying to break back into after being in prison for so long. And just trying to make her way in this. It's kind of a beautiful little, very short 6 episode,
half-hour
episode. So kind of like Fleabag, and you can binge it really quick, which
you could watch The Irishman, or you could watch all of Back to Life in 3 hours
and have a half hour extra.
Have a half hour to spare. It's a really good, if you like sort of the British seaside town mystery shows. This is a little different than most, I think, and better, I think, than a lot that have come out. It is a comedy, and just really soulful and interesting and different. And Daisy Haggard is the writer and star, and highly recommended. And all episodes are out now, so if you have Showtime, you can do a quick binge and hopefully enjoy it. Number 3 this week is Watchmen on HBO, which is one of Josh's favorite shows, I think, of the year.
Each week it seems like they're up in their game on these episodes. We've had, particularly these last 3 episodes, not really 4, it's ever since Gene Smart sort of came on the scene. We've had episodes that are diving into individual characters or diving into these very big changes happening on the show, and then we have this major twist with this last episode that was a little mind-blowing and just sort of reshaped everything. It's one of those shows where you just can't wait to see what's coming next. And I have absolutely loved this show.
How many episodes are left? It is a limited series.
I do not know.
Okay, I think just a handful. Just a couple.
It feels like everything is getting coming to a head here. And Damon Lindelof, this may be my favorite thing that he's done.
Strong words. Number 2 this week is The Crown on Netflix, which is outstanding. This is a well-known fact. It has a whole new cast this year. It is known. This is the way. But it's Olivia Colman, Tobias Menzies, Helena Bonham Carter, and there are so many. One of the things I really, really like about The Crown is even though Netflix does drop it all at once, the episodes matter. They are distinct. It's not just one of those binge things where did that happen episode 3 or episode 4? You remember that episode 3 was Aberfan. You remember which episode was Prince Philip and the space, the moon landing. It was all these things are these little vignettes about the royal family that each stand out on their own, and it has just been a really, really exceptional journey.
Well, it seems like since Mad Men, we've lived in this golden age of the historical fiction TV show, where we get these major moments. It's like a little history lesson where you're seeing it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And this as the perspective of the royal family, which is so involved in so many of these huge events. It's just fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many seasons of this we're getting, and are we going to catch up? I'm sure we're going to get the real Princess Diana years next season, and 3 years from now we're going to be watching Prince Andrew get
Yikes!
Canceled.
It's funny because they really did blow through time. I think they went through 2 decades in this last season, which was a lot faster than they've gone in the past. So yeah, we might actually catch up to some of the more modern royal happenings. Maybe not that modern, but Peter Morgan would do it if given the chance. He absolutely would tell that story. So The Crown continues to be excellent. And number 1 this week, this is the way, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I mean,
this is the way.
Baby Yoda.
My whole Twitter feed is all Baby Yoda memes, and I love it.
He's the baby. Gotta love him.
He is the baby, and you do have to.
But
love
to be
him.
fair, this Baby Yoda aside, which is a huge aside, The Mandalorian itself has been a really interesting series for a couple of different reasons. One, as we've talked about before, it's being released weekly, which is very different. The episodes are only 30 to 40 minutes max. This last episode, we've talked about what a sort of space western it is, but this last episode was very much a Seven Samurai.
This is a Kurosawa movie in 40 minutes. It's and that's one of the great things about Star Wars. Is there was nothing new about that story. I mean, it's archetypes. It shoots broad on its storytelling, but they're done in such a sweeping, beautiful way that it didn't matter that you've seen this particular story a million times. You wanted to watch this particular story yet again in the Star Wars universe, and it was a tale of a village that is being attacked by raiders, and
they need these soldiers to help them. These sort of rogue soldiers. They need the samurai. And I think the 2 things that people are waiting for the most, besides every new Baby Yoda scene, is that and Pedro Pascal finally taking off the Mandalorian helmet, which we're told is never done. At least
we saw him remove it by his own, but
when he's on his own,
we did not get to see his face on that.
What a waste. It could have been anyone. So we'll see. I think we only have 3 more episodes. Is it 8, 6 or 8?
I don't know. That's
it's a short run, but if you're not on this yet, I mean, just to keep up with the zeitgeist, it's really tough in this peak TV era for stuff to break out. But Mandalorian, because of the weekly release, and Baby Yoda has become like the thing to talk about.
So when you watch it and you see Baby Yoda come on screen, do you think, what is that meme going to look like? Is it distracting to you at all?
No, I think that him sipping the cup of soup in this last one was the most like meme chasing thing that anyone has seen in a while, because it felt like that was a moment. But yeah, you just watch it and you're just overcome by his cuteness, and then later you just replay it all in your mind.
Watching the fight, he would have been.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda's wonderful. Coming to a Christmas gift near you, probably.
I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, on pacemagazine.com, we have Christmas carols dedicated to Baby Yoda, which you can find.
Allison, would you like to sing us one?
Maybe next time. That's it for us this week at our Pace studio here in downtown Atlanta. Join us next week for our picks for the best TV.